Okay, so I've been consulting for SaaS, software as a service companies for a while now. And when it appeared on my radar, I immediately fell in love with Laravel Cashier. But then I ended up never using it, actually. So this talk is about why I actually fell in love with Laravel Cashier and why I never ended up using it. So I can just put it in one line of code. Creating a subscription, new subscription, is as easy as just one line of code saying, OK, I want a new subscription using the main plan and giving it a name with monthly. You can give it 10 trial days, for example, and a user coupon even, and then just hit create. And it's created, everything is done for you, billing happens, in this case monthly, and you're good to go. So that's, to me, this was like really great. OK, awesome. You can do some more, obviously. You can check when you have the user model if he is subscribed to this main subscription plan. You can even check if he's on trial currently or not. And for me, it's very interesting if you have multiple plans, like a premium plan or a basic plan. It's very easy to swap between. And the Cashier handles all the calculations for you. Your client will not be overpaying for anything. Cancellation is very easy, and even the invoices are generated for you. Everything is dealt with. And if you're building a new SaaS company, yeah, this is a huge time saver. I really love this. But then I never used it. Years passed by, and I think there are three major issues here. I'm sorry to you guys, but you're part of the problem, or the payment service provider like Stripe is. Because when you're putting a European through checkout and you're asking only for their credit card, you get reactions like this. Why do I have to use a credit card? I don't have one. Or even, I'm not going to get into debt, or going to use a credit card just because it's more convenient to you. And worst case, I'll go somewhere else. But this happens more than I was thinking at the time, and I really lost a lot of clients there. So what's going on here? I think for you guys, this is very familiar. In Europe, we have a different payment method history than in the US. And the Cashier, the original Cashier, was designed to be used with Stripe, American company. Really great stuff. All kudos there. But Cashier was not designed with Europe in mind, with European customers in mind. European customers, we have our own payment methods. We love to use direct debit cards, and each country has their own payment method. Here in the Netherlands, a commonly used one is Ideal, but there's also Bankcontact in Belgium, I believe. Germany has its own methods. So what I was looking for is, OK, I want some payment service provider who can deal with this with all these methods. But please, can I use it with something that looks and feels like Cashier, because that would be great. So I ended up even partnering with Molly. Molly is an Amsterdam-based payment service provider, and they are handling all this logic for you. There's a difference, though, that with Stripe, you're obtaining a token and you can use JavaScript widget in your website. With Molly, the client is usually redirected to their checkout. If you're familiar with Molly, You may have never seen this checkout because this is a sneak preview of the new design, which is coming up very soon. But this is where the customer chooses how he wants to pay. All this logic is outside of your app. What's also good to mention is, well, Germany is very different than the Netherlands. Netherlands is very different than France. Like I know, I've lived in France for 2 years. And this checkout is optimized for the geolocation of the customer. So in terms of language, but also in terms of the ordering of the different payment methods. So I started building, hacking together something that I hope would work. Trashed a couple of versions because what was very complex was that Stripe's API is completely different than Molly's. The subscription API is completely different, so it was not copy-paste and then swap out Stripe's client with Molly's. I really had to build all the complexity from recurring payment, from subscriptions, all the scheduling logic is in the package itself. So I'm really happy to announce that today we have Cashier Molly, and we have been going through an alpha testing phase, through a public beta testing phase since the beta launch in Laracon Madrid, it was. And right now, next Tuesday, because I do need to get some sleep after this event, and I want to be prepared if any questions on the GitHub repo are coming my way. Next week, on Tuesday, we will be production ready with version 1. So I'm really happy to share that with you guys. So I'm limited in my time, so I'm going to go right through. There's no online dashboard you need to go to define all your plans. It's just in the config. This is just a config file, as you're familiar with, as you know. You can set up the plans in the Cashier plans file. You provide an amount with the currency, and you provide the interval, which to me feels like using Carbon for the interval. So it's just like Carbon is also parsing the interval string. This works the same. And the description, you can also define per plan, and that's the description that ends up on the invoice. Well, as I mentioned before, there is a difference with the Cashier for Stripe because we are using a redirect. So in your create subscription controller, there's a slight difference that when you create a new subscription, when you start it, you need to check if Cashier is returning redirect to the checkout. Because if it is, then there's no mandate for triggering the payments for this client yet in your system, or it's not valid. And this way, you're redirecting the customer to the checkout. But if the mandate is already there, if it's already valid, you can just go right through with it. Everything works. So, hope to not have offended anyone here, any Europeans. I'm okay with you. I'm okay with myself as well. There's one other issue which I had with Cashier as it was. And it sounds like I really have a lot of issues with the Cashier that was there. I don't. I really love it, but I also would love to use it here in Europe. So if Taylor is here, I'm sorry. If Dries Vins, who currently is maintaining the Cashier and even launched version 10 recently, is here. Hope to catch you later today and have a drink. The other part is advanced use cases. I'm going to assume you all have a telephone here, a mobile phone, and have a subscription on that. Otherwise, I want to know how your phone works without a subscription, but okay. I know about prepaid. With your subscription plan for your phone, you typically have a recurring monthly fixed fee and a dynamic fee, a variable fee, which depends on your usage that month, or perhaps what minutes are carrying over from last period billing cycle into this billing cycle. And these kind of advanced use cases are currently not supported in the current Cashier, but I've managed to support this in this package because here all the logic is running in your app. It's running locally, so there are really more hooks to use for your custom business logic. Well, a very simple one is Cashier events. It's just Laravel events as you know it. You can define a listener and you're good to go. The coupon handler is also an interesting use case. Normally you hand out a coupon and someone gets like 10 euros discount or 50% discount for a year, I don't know. You can do that, but you can also really customize them as you like. And one example could be that when someone signs up, they get access to another application for free for a month. Or if you want to send out a physical postcard or a chocolate bar even, you can handle this from within your app by defining your own coupons. The pre-processes is your subscription generates order items which end up in your invoice, and right before that you can pre-process them when they are due. And then you can add more lines, more order items, or even modify them if you like. And that's what's absolutely great if we're working on the telephone example. Order items are really easy to define. You can just add them in a list here. And the order item itself has a really easy blueprint. It has a handle method. You pass in an order item collection, typically starts with 1, but you can add your own. And then you return order items, order item collection. And that's it. And it passes on just like web middleware, etc. Okay, so if you're serving European customers, or you're handling advanced use cases, or want to be prepared for them if they come your way later, because your business evolves and your demands evolve, then consider using Cashier Molly. I recommend it, obviously. Yeah, so that's absolutely great. And Cashier, we're ready now. But with Cashier ready, I'm starting to look to the next big thing, obviously. And Cashier itself, it's great. It's easy to integrate, but you still have to integrate it. And if you're starting a new SaaS platform, it can be easy to have a mature Kickstarter blueprint bootstrap. How do you call it these days? So I'm really happy to announce later this year we will have Laravel Spark for Molly. It's all the goodness you already know from Spark, but with Molly, with the redirect, everything taken care of. It will be available, I guess, in a few months. I'm on the safe side here with 2019, but we'll be finished before then for the launch. This is it. Next Tuesday, Laravel Cashier version 1, production ready, good to go. And later this year, Laravel Spark. Thank you.